This post contains a preview for Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Marvel Comics has released an early preview for the Amazing Spider-Man's tie-in issue to the massive Judgment Day crossover, revealing that Spider-Man's new partnership with the Green Goblin will likely doom the world. While a collection of Avengers, X-Men, and defecting Eternals revived the progenitor Celestial to force the Eternals to end their new war with mutantkind, the plan massively backfired. Now, the progenitor has promised to judge the world both individually and collectively at the risk of the world's destruction should the majority fail. As such, it looks as though it will soon be Peter Parker's turn to be judged, and it's going to get real awkward. The Amazing Spider-Man has begun a fairly new run from writers Eb Wells and artist John Romita Jr. Featuring a mysterious new status quo for Peter Parker who did something terrible 6 months prior to the first issue. Having lost Mary Jane Watson and working to rebuild bridges he burned with friends and loved ones, Peter Parker has recently agreed to work with a reformed Norman Osborn whose sins were cleansed during Nick Spencer's previous Spider-Man run. Furthermore, Norman has rebuilt Oscorp, now determined to leave behind his past as the Green Goblin. To that end, Spider-Man has also received a new costume designed by the former Green Goblin himself. However, Marvel.com has provided a new first look at Amazing Spider-Man number 10 from Wells and artist Nick Dragotta, revealing that the progenitor will be taking the form of none other than Gwen Stacy to judge Peter Parker. Wearing the same clothes she died in when Gwen was killed by the Green Goblin, things are looking pretty bad for Spider-Man woes currently working with Norman, along with whatever terrible thing he did 6 months ago. Here are the preview pages and cover art from John Romita Jr., 5 images close according to the synopsis from Marvel. The progenitor's version of Gwen will be haunting Peter throughout an entire day, even as he teams up with Miles Morales' Spider-Man. Seeing as how Captain America was the first hero to be judged in Judgment Day number 3 and failed, the odds aren't looking so good for anyone else. It does seem as though the Celestials' rulings are based on whether an individual has been achieving their purpose or directive. As such, it does seem as though Spider-Man has been compromising himself lately, likely leading to a judgment that won't be in his favor or the Earth's at large. At any rate, the Celestial taking the form of Spider-Man's deceased first love is all kinds of brutal, especially after Spider-Man just agreed to work with her murderer Green Goblin against his own better judgment. As such, it will be interesting to see what the progenitor has to say and what side of its decision Spider-Man will ultimately land on. Amazing Spider-Man number 10 hits shelves on September 28. Source: Marvel.com.